Hey there, are HR issues giving you a frown? Turn it around with SmartHR. We are renowned.
Products are expensive, there's marketing stability. Here, everything is just off the roof. It's a lot to ask me, honestly.
Entrepreneurs, lend us your ear. We're here to solve your HR problems crystal clear. From hiring to policies, we've got you covered.
So there are many efficient ways that helps you to still remain ethical and still serve your clients with the intention of the brand.
Tune in, discover the HR world anew. With SmartHR, success is within view. Entrepreneurs, gather near and far. Let's conquer HR challenges, no matter how bizarre.
Welcome to Smart HR, where we unravel the intricate world of human resources and explore the challenges faced by entrepreneurs and businesses. I am your host, Chukwu Nonso Modi, and in today's episode, we delve into a situation that no entrepreneur wants to encounter. I'm sure you're wondering what that is. We're talking about dealing with theft from employees. Now, with the help of our HR experts, we'll navigate through, the complexities of this issue. Of course, we're going to offer insights, strategies, and expert advice on how to address and, of course, prevent employee theft while maintaining a productive and trusting workplace environment. So it's time for us to meet our entrepreneur. What is the issue? How much has it impacted her business? We will find out right now. Welcome to the studio, Oge. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. So, Oge, please tell us about yourself, your brand, and what is the issue exactly?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Ogechi Hinacho, and I'm the CEO and founder of Sniffit Nigeria.
Okay.
We're into aromatherapy,
All right.
perfumes, EDPs, and scented candles.
Nice.
Yes.
That's nice.
Just smell good.
Just smell good. Nice.
The
So
lifestyle.
it's not just your regular or just buy perfume and that's it. There's more to it.
Unadulterated oil perfumes, EDPs that can last for eternity as you want.
Guys, I can attest to that because when Oge came in, I could, in fact, great.
Yeah.
Everywhere she goes, Oge's like, Oge was here. Understand it?
Signature.
All right. So tell us, what's the challenge now? What's the issue?
Okay, so I actually have two challenges.
Okay.
So one of them is actually on stealing.
Ah.
Yeah. So there are scenarios where, for example, the oil perfumes, we have a lot. So these are all packaged in 3 ml, 6 ml, 30 ml, 50 ml, and 100 ml. Now you appoint people to look after this because you trust them to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you have your catalog and you have your everything you counted, but in the end, you notice that some perfumes are missing, numbers are not numbering.
They're not adding up.
They are not adding up. Things are just, and you're like, okay, what's going on? And you trust these people, but you don't want to accuse and feel like, okay, you're trying to be the good CEO and the nice person, but really, are you
going
do
to
you really
tell
want
on
to
your
be
business?
nice? Because it entails your business, your money,
Profits, money's going.
Money's going. So how do you curtail this? How do you, what's the solution to stealing? Because you try to put strategy, you try to put, things to help curtail. You do your, I don't know, the whole stuff they do to put everything check and balance, but still things keep missing, money keep missing, and you keep sacking. You bring more, you sack,
they steal
you bring
again.
more, you steal. So how do you curtail this? I would really like to know. And secondly, for market strategies, it's not so easy. It can be really, really, really frustrating because nobody will let me sell perfume. So now it's not like every market strategy has been taken. So what else? What do you do next? What's the next thing? What's the new thing to do? Because I keep thinking, I keep strategizing. Sometimes I don't sleep. So I would really love for more insight, expansion. She might have new ideas, or he might have new ideas, or I just need new ideas on
to
what
help you with
to
it,
help
yeah?
with, yeah,
All right. I mean, you're in the right place. That's why we have Smart HR. And of course, after this, we'll meet a HR expert who will, hear your issues, especially the stealing. I can imagine how frustrating it is. And it's now like a trend for you because you said you would employ, you put all these check and balances, they'll do it, you sack them, bring new people. So is it now looking like, is it only thieves that are coming to
exactly.
So yes, I thank you so much for coming on the show. Okay, like I said, after this, we'll definitely meet our HR expert, and you will definitely get your solutions.
Thank
so
you.
do not go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, it's still Smart HR, and it is that time of the show where we meet our HR expert and gain insights. Now, our HR expert for today is Esther Luke, partner at Updrive Talent. Welcome to the show, Esther. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. I'm actually very happy to be here.
All right. So, Esther, we've heard from our entrepreneur, and this is, I don't know what to call this situation, but let's start with this. Are they, in your opinion, are they common signs or red flags that, entrepreneurs, employees should be aware of or detect? Because this person now, she feels like she has been employing the same breed, if I must put it that way, of, people who steal from her. So are they red flags that you think she and anyone else should spot before employing someone?
Generally, I would say that one of the signs that people overlook would be reluctance to go on vacations.
Okay.
So most of the times when you're doing something sneaky, you don't want to take vacations because you feel like once you're out, someone can spot the discrepancies in the books and all of that. So that's one common thing that people do not. It happens a lot in the public sector.
Okay.
Yes, I don't want to. Some people don't even want to be transferred from one office to another office.
Okay.
Because once you transfer them, they'll lose what they're gaining in that
They're
particular
gaining
office.
there, yeah.
Another thing would be, which is a very common one, significant improvement in your lifestyle.
Okay.
When you know that you do not increase salary and you're not aware of any other thing outside work that they do. Not like you don't want their personal growth, but then at that time you should be happy but still pay attention more to the books.
Okay.
Then the last one I'll say is that unexpected lack of attention to the books. Why I'm being specific to the books is that some employees are known to be very accurate.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see this or this, that. For an employee who is very, very, very accurate, when you notice that,
That's something.
it might not be the case, but pay more attention. If it happens again, or don't even wait for it to happen again. Like at that same time, get the books yourself.
Okay, and start.
Cross-check it. So that's one thing. Yeah.
Okay,
so things I'll say amongst so many.
I like that the first one you said of not wanting to transfer and then not wanting to take vacation, because actually where it seems easy for you, you wouldn't want to leave that place. But now
some of them even want to go as far as closing late every time because they want to do what they're not supposed to do when nobody's there.
Also in the case of this perfume person, now maybe they always like to sort out the perfumes when the order comes in, that kind of thing. Can that also be like a red flag?
Sorry, can you ask that question again?
Like if, in case this entrepreneur now owns a perfume business and they always want to sort out the stock once it comes in. So would you also see that as, it might not be, but then is that also a red flag? This person always wants to be near the perfumes, always wants to sort the stock out, that kind of thing.
It might be a red flag and it might not be a red flag. In this kind of situation, most times people don't work alone.
Okay.
I don't think they work in silo alone in this kind of situation, because you might not be the person receiving it, but you might be the one at the other end of the inventory.
Yeah.
So they might have partners. Oh, you take this side and I handle this other side. So it might not be the case all the time.
Smart. We're thinking like this makes me feel like we're thinking like criminals. Okay. So now, let's, just in case of this entrepreneur, she has had issues with people stealing. Okay, let's say she just caught one person or she suspects someone. So what are the initial steps to take? Because, you know, sometimes some of them will say, oh, just calling them out like, oh, you stole from me. You might be accusing the wrong person. But when you notice things like that for entrepreneurial startups, what are the initial steps that you advise they take?
There are two things I have in mind, but the second one is something you should have been doing, but the first one is the first step you should take in this situation.
All right.
Instead of confronting, I would say you should document.
Okay.
Document it at the time you think it happened, just so that you don't have any loss of memory. Sometimes you might say, oh, I think it was this time, but document what you noticed. Document your observations. Then the second one would be, what kind of culture do you actually practice in your system? Yes, in every system there is a thief. There's no system I would say that there's no thief there. Most of the times, because anything that has to do with increasing wealth, whether it's financially or by the assets, the goods, anything, you would always have people that will not be straightforward. It's just normal. But when I mean the culture, do you run, this is where HR comes in, do you run a system where everyone can speak freely? Not when you notice situations that you have to come and start forming friendship with everybody. And you don't have to be their friend. You can always communicate to people. So you can have a system where you call to check in on people, not only when you notice something. You can call in to check in generally. On the other end, they'll be like, what did I do? It will only be a thing of surprise to them when then they notice that you just only checking in without anything. Yeah, you might be wondering where I'm driving at, but if you had already performed this kind of system and culture, or in a situation where you notice steps like this, you would be surprised that during one of your conversations with another employee, you might get feedbacks of things like this.
They'll tell you, oh, I noticed.
They'll tell you. Sometimes some people will tell you because they want their own growth. Oh, let me report so that, yes, after I'm comfortable with madam. They are free to say things because you've already generated that room for freedom. Yes, so I think that one will also help too. And that way you're not attacking the person heads on, but you're secluding the person in a group. By making him feel alone, because every other person is aware except him. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. So once you have that culture of, you're open with them, not necessarily being their friend, but you know that they know that, oh, they can still talk to you. Before one or two persons will raise the alarm. Or supervisors that are very inaccessible. Like you can't talk to them. The first response you get is the turn off. So nobody really wants to talk to you.
So even when something bad is happening, they just
even when something good is happening, they won't bring it to your knowledge. Even with something good, somebody can come into the office and a new business wants to come in, and I'm sorry to digress, but then they won't even bring it to your notice. Even the positive, more or less the negative, for they will tell you that they are part of it. So
I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about how to assist these entrepreneurs now. So are there any examples you can give, to help them establish effective measures and policies to help to stop this stealing, or even if it's not stealing, unethical conduct in their workplace? Maybe something in guidelines she has to put, because I'm still hammering on the fact that this person has said it's a recurring thing. So even when she lets go of the other, another person comes, as if the other person goes to tell the other one. I'm just painting a scenario where you come
how you take it.
Yes, you just do like this and still just pray they don't catch you, that kind of thing. So it can get exhausting. So anything they have to do to ensure that doesn't happen again.
Consequence management.
Okay.
It's you could call it a tool, you could call it a form of documentation, but it's something that you have access to once they resume.
Okay.
Like they should know that these are the guidelines. These are the consequences to anything I do on the downside. And your consequence management should not only be for negative things. One thing I'll say, it could be in a situation where you tell the person that if you make this much sales, you get this. It's still a consequence of making a lot of sales.
Yes.
But there should also be a downside. If we notice discrepancies in this once, 2 or 3 times, this is what is going to happen. So now the person is conscious that, okay, as long as I'm in charge of this, even if I didn't do it, if this happens once or twice, I'll bear the consequences for it. He's extra cautious and would even report anything on the first insight, the first time he's ever noticing it. He won't just lay low because he's already saying that this thing might happen. Extra measures will be taken. Their own instinct they will handle it like it's their own. because their job is at stake.
Yes.
So consequence management, you can outline certain things as it pertains to your business.
Okay.
And the consequences at each level, because your first consequence doesn't need to be termination, because when you say termination, the manpower and time you're using to recruit again is a lot.
It's a lot.
And time is money. So you could have other things like it could be suspension, it could be deductions, it could be just depends. It's all specific to your type of job anyway. So just different things. Then when it gets to a particular level is termination.
Can you also add legal to it? Because although in Nigeria legal is quite, but maybe if you steal from me, you sleep in jail, that kind of thing. Maybe if they hear that, they would.
Yes, you can. Why not? That's allowed. It's possible. Yes, you can. They'll take it even more serious. Yes. Even if you feel like our legal system sometimes might not be. To shock you and to surprise you to see that these little cases sometimes they are hands-on than even the bigger cases that we hear around. So yeah.
I mean, but in the case of this case study now, it's perfumes, and even while I was discussing with her, I'm like, this thing is quite difficult because, like I said, perfume oil, some of them are in small bottles, so you might not really notice. But I like that you said once you notice, document, so it helps you to
you could, in the case of perfume, you can go as far as taking pictures.
Okay.
Yes. So at that point you're saying that this is it. And if you even have like a measurement, like a tape or something, you can do that every time. And you might even ask the employee to do it. And if it says it's taking it every day and this is what it's saying, the day you notice it, you check your records. Day one, this is what it is. How come today and the next day this happened?
Yeah, it's
you
not
know
the
that
same.
something happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing you could do again, it's to surveillance cameras. It depends on how you equate the expense and how you treasure these things. Some people might not want to invest in that. But if something you want to invest in, I think you can invest in it. Not because you would have eyes on it every now and then, but for cases where you notice this, you can go back to play back what happened on this particular day. That can also help.
And that can help.
Yes, especially in places where you have your stock. It doesn't have to be in every area. It's where you have your stock.
The stock, yeah. I understand that. Now, I want us to go back. This will be the last, but then, you spoke about the employer building trust with the employees. But then, how can they strike that balance? Because I know you said that they don't necessarily have to be friends, but they have to be vigilant, as well as they have to also trust. It's quite tricky. So is there a balance between trust and vigilance? It's like, I'm still using this case study as an example. Now, she did mention that there's only a particular one that she trusted, and that happened. So right now she's so shaky on it. She doesn't know if, should I trust them, because even the one I trusted still messed the business up. And at the same time, she doesn't want to come off as, once anybody enters, don't come close to me, it's business, too vigilant, that kind of thing. So how do you strike that balance?
I think she's actually getting it wrong in one thing. First of all, you don't trust. You don't trust your employees. There's no bond between you people that needs you trusting them. They're there for the same way you're benefiting from them, they're benefiting from you. It's a two-way street.
Okay.
There's no need for trust in that kind of place. Everything has to balance in both ways. And on another thing on building relationship, I will not say trust, but building relationship.
Okay.
Would be your first impression matters. That's one thing I would say. I've had an employer where the first engagement I had with her, I knew I wasn't going to stay long in the place. Like, I knew that. So your first impression really matters, even with day life association. And I would say that with employees, your first impression could be cool and bossy at the same time.
Okay.
When I mean bossy, not trying to belittle them, but when I mean bossy, trying to lay down what is meant to be in the workplace and what is not meant to be. Do that on your very first time you're meeting. Don't try to be all playful and nice before you now trying to bring in work. It's already destroyed the balance. But when you try to put both of them on the very first meet, it helps. Because at that point in time, the person is also confused. Who am I meeting? Who am I not meeting? So you want to strike a balance between that two.
You're not predictable.
Yes. Don't come in as too nice. We are in a terrain where people forget why they're actually in a place. And now turn it into friendship, forgetting that the first thing that brought you here is work. And so I don't think you should also be trusting, like I said before. Yeah.
I like the way you've explained it. So in other words, your boss is not your friend. Your employee is not your friend. This just reminds me of something I saw on Twitter. They said your colleague is not your friend. Your friend can be your colleague.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of. But anyway, thank you so much, Esther, for coming on the show and for shedding light on this. I do hope that the entrepreneur in question and many others like her have listened, and of course will pick one or two from what you've shared.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me.
All right, we have come to the end of today's show, and I must say it was truly an enlightening one. I hope it was the same for you. We'd like to hear from you, so leave us a comment, give us a review on our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram at Africa Business Radio, Twitter at Africa Biz Radio. Until next time, I am Chukwunonso Modi.
This podcast was proudly brought to you by ACT Foundation.